Athletics is the channel, GSW Athletics, but there's links.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you today, the big weekend, the first game of a three-game series, doubleheader today and single game tomorrow. If the GSW Hurricanes and their fans are not fired up today, it's not because Keith Micklig ain't trying, because I'm telling you, he did an introduction of the team today, unlike what I have ever heard. Tucker Smith, our ace, comes out firing. Strike one to Trevor Clemens, the leadoff batter for UNC Pembroke. Ryan Young here.
Scott, you said it right, buddy. If you don't have energy today, buddy, what's on the line here for the Hurricanes postseason play? Heck, even the Pembroke fans feel it, buddy. He's letting bats go. It doesn't matter. But I tell you what, there is excitement all over campus. I woke up early this morning with excitement. I hope you did. And I'm telling you, I am looking forward to this weekend, baby.
Yes, sir.
It's just so for our fans to know. If you're keeping track, we got Landers playing North Georgia. Lander lost last night to North Georgia. If Lander loses a game and the Canes win one game, we're in the postseason. If the Canes win two games, it doesn't matter what Lander does, we're in the postseason. So our focus today is winning two ball games. We don't really give a crap what Lander does, although it would help.
We would like our friends in Delana to help us out a little bit, but we are fully prepared to win both games today. Tucker Smith has a 1-2 count to the leadoff batter for the Braves. UNC Pembroke. I think UNC Pembroke, I heard they left their pine tar back in Pembroke, North Carolina, so they
well, I tell you, the Hurricanes pitching staff today's got their work cut out for them. A pretty good hitting club as Pembroke comes in as a team batting .305. The good news is opponents are batting .300 against them. Mr. Clemens came in today batting .349. He does have a couple of home runs on the year.
He's got one strikeout now.
That he does. But he's been introduced to Tucker Smith.
That's right. Foul tip caught by Jacob Harrell for strike number 3, and he takes the long walk to the dugout for out number 1.
Batting second for UNC Pembroke, second baseman, number 15.
Second baseman for UNC Pembroke, their number 2 hitter, River Ryan, steps in there to face Tucker Smith.
Steps in there batting .328 on the year. 10 doubles, 2 triples, and 15 RBI on the season.
One thing I noticed, I mentioned to you earlier when they were warming up, this team, I mean, you can't tell from the first 2 batters necessarily, but they look like a bunch of Philistines. I think the average height for this team may be 6'2" for UNC Pembroke. They got one 6'8" pitcher, and so I'm glad we aren't taking them to the hoops today, but we'll see if we can just have a little bigger strike zone, a little more difficult for them maybe to maneuver out there, I can hope. That'll add to that .328 batting average. Line drive up the middle. Fielded on one hop by Hunter Foster, so the number 2 batter gets to first base with 1 out. Next batter, Ethan Balcom, number 17, the center fielder for UNC Pembroke.
And I think Balcom,
batting third, center fielder number 17.
which he comes in today batting .314, Scott. I think he leads the conference in home runs with 20.
Wow.
He's got 70 RBI on the year, so pretty big bat here in the lineup for Pembroke.
6'3", 225, redshirt junior from Rockingham, North Carolina. Balcom takes strike 1. Got to see our umpires before the game. Not exactly your stereotypical umpires that we're used to seeing out here. These umpires are fit and young and well-groomed, and I thought they was doing a male modeling shoot out in the parking lot before the game, but hopefully they'll do us both teams a good job today.
A long strikeout down the Hurricane bullpen.
Got some fans. You know, we don't have many in the stands right now, Ryan, but you see a lot of travel ball tents up and a lot of shade trees. Late spring, early summer has arrived to Americus, Georgia. It should have the triumphant entry of the Nats before too long.
It will. We hadn't dealt with them yet, but I tell you what a beautiful day. I don't know what else you'd rather be doing than being out here supporting these Hurricanes. So if you're listening to us local, get out here and support these Hurricanes.
Get on your golf cart or whatever it takes, you know.
Your mule.
Mule, that's right, yep.
Your dog.
Four-legged or
It don't matter.
Or Kawasaki. We'll take either one. Do have a new speed bump you have to maneuver, though, that has been put in place out here in front of the baseball field.
Yeah, I think Mike Leader must have requested that speed bump out there. We need to ask him about that.
Well, that's something we need to probably interview him before a game. I needed when I went over it, I felt like I needed a Sherpa to get over the thing due to the altitude. Low ball 1.
And Tucker Smith comes into today's game. His ERA is 2.13. He's thrown 97 complete innings. Only walked 14.
High fly ball, Beta back. Calls it and takes it for out number 2. Got to meet Jason Beta's dad before the game. He said some pretty nice things to us and did give us some pointers that you and I both know. We get kind of talking to each other from time to time, forget there's a baseball game going on sometimes. And
sometimes we like to get carried away.
We do.
We don't mean to.
We don't. But I mean, the fans can see it on the TV, but they can't always hear us talk about pound cake and stuff like that they probably really want to hear from us. But Jason Beta's dad, super nice, awesome man. Got to meet him today. It's always fun to meet the parents of these kids. They all come from good stock. We don't have any problems for any of these boys. We, of course, you and I gave them a little pep talk before the game about going to class and how important it is to study and do well.
Keep your grades up.
That's right. So, parents, we are trying to pick up the baton where you leave it when you send them off to college. So, you got Ryan and I's good influence on these boys, so we do what we can to help make sure they go to class and eat right. And we invite them to church. High fly ball, center field.
Good inning.
Hunter Foster gets under it, catch for out number 3. So we got 1 hit, no runs. Going to the bottom half of the first on the Surge Sports Network, all knotted up at 0. We are back. Bottom of the first inning. GSW comes up to bat. Our leadoff batter, Jason Beta, second baseman, steps in there to face number 14, Landon Smith. Lefty, 6'1", 150-pound sophomore from Archdale, North Carolina, from Wheatmore High School. Wheatmore, the home of the Shockers.
The Shockers. When Landon comes in with a 6.66 ERA. He's thrown 52 2/3 innings thus far on the season. He's walked 24 and struck out 64. And he's throwing to Jason Beta, who does, as a leadoff hitter, he's leading the team in home runs with 5. So Beta's got a little pop in his bat as he smokes that one to shortstop, Scott.
I'm going to give him an H on that. Uh-oh, I think the official scores down the table are disagreeing with me. Okay.
Oh, Mick League chirped in, and that's the official. That is a hit.
We had some disagreement.
You put a hit. You put what Mick League told you, Mick.
H. That's a hot shot right there. I mean, that right there, that wasn't a routine play, I don't think.
Batting second,
Not for me.
third baseman number 1, Tyler Skelton.
Maybe for
Shockers. That was a shocker right there, wasn't it?
Tyler Skelton, our third baseman, digs in, gets ready to face Landon Smith after he gives up a hit/error. We're not sure yet. Ball one, high and away.
Skelton comes into today's game batting .293. He's got 16 RBIs on the year.
Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike on Skelton.
If you were wondering at home, Beta he has swiped 5 bases this year.
Catcher Trevor Clemens for the Braves gives a signal.
Scott, you mentioned earlier we were down there talking to the team. Team very loose but very focused. These guys are having fun playing baseball, and I tell you, I was telling them these guys are really helping build this program here at Georgia Southwestern.
They are, and they know what today means. I mean, all you got to do is bring it up, and they smart young men. They know what's riding on this weekend series. Got a few more fans dribbling in, so maybe the fans are starting.
Maybe word's getting out.
I'm sure. You know, I sometimes feel guilty with our broadcast. I wonder if we keep some folks at home because they just loved hearing us, and it keeps folks from coming to the ball field. That's the one thing about what you and I deliver.
You think we should start having some blackout days to where, you got to come to the park. We got to sell out.
That's right.
Before we go live.
That's exactly right.
Scott, did you get any phone calls? You know, I figured you probably got a few from the NFL this weekend.
You know what? I they still want to know if I'm a line drive.
Get down.
Balcom. One hops it, comes up firing. Too late. Runners at first and second. Beta on his horse gets into second. Skelton hits one right that drops right in front of a charging Ethan Balkman from center field. We got runners at first and second, no out. And Jamar step up to bat.
And Jamar here lately, he's been swinging a very hot bat. He's worked his average all the way back up to 308. He's got 31 RBI on the year.
Hurricanes right fielder number 20, Jonathan Martin.
He does have 2 home runs on the season, but I tell you what, I'd love to see him just improve that RBI category.
I would too. Jamar
with a home run be
yes.
nice. The wind is kind of blowing a little out to the left, I think. That flag's kind of tricky looking out there, isn't it?
Wild pitch. Advances the runners, gives Jamar a 1-0 count. I got to give Micklig. We'd give him a shout out, but we can't talk enough about him. The Lord had already called our scoreboard operations computer here, called it home last week after the big wind and threw it on the concrete when the table turned over. He sat here, worked tirelessly this week, has it back working today, but he said the wire is very loose, so he said don't touch it.
Suspect.
Well, I ain't gonna touch it anyway.
Yeah, if it tears up, we're gonna blame Mix.
That's exactly right.
Mix is working the scoreboard.
Mm-hmm.
But Micklig's jack of all trades.
He sure is. Foul ball.
Today's eyeglasses, we're obviously not working for 6 figures here, but this is our eyeglasses situation here going on.
Look, I think he probably broke his glasses working on the dang scoreboard. What do you think?
For the love of the game.
Micklig's eyeglass is going to need a little repair job. I hope he goes to Regional Eye Center maybe Monday or Tuesday and gets that worked out. Foul ball.
But I think he's got a little MacGyver in him, so he probably can fix those glasses.
Nothing, a little duct tape and super glue can't fix.
And Cole or DJ here for for baseball. He's normally on our music. He's under Keith Micklig's tutelage today, so if you hear any music going on, that's probably Micklig throwing in there. I see Cole whispered in his ear from time to time to give him some suggestions, but I think a lot of that's coming straight from Micklig. Ooh.
Oh my gosh!
No.
Yep, yeah. I'm afraid I tell you what, that catcher came up firing, and we're gonna maybe get a little bit of an argument, but
Josh isn't scared to get a warning in the first inning.
He's not, but that catcher. I mean, it was a laser throw and in the right spot. So I think probably even if he got in, the umpire's probably going to give that catcher and third baseman
one heck of a play.
It was. It was a flat laser, and he must have hit the edge of the bag with the throw.
Perfect throw.
It was a perfect throw from our angle here.
So our runners better be on their toes today, as already the Braves are throwing behind these Hurricane runners.
Inside, UNC Pembroke.
And this
disagrees.
catcher, that's their leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
Don't see that very often.
He's not really a stereotypical catcher either. You look at him.
He's got 8 stolen bases on the year, too.
Yeah. Somebody told us up here in the booth, I think it was Mick, said he had about 20-something stolen bases from last year, the catcher, Trevor Clemens.
Tell Mick they don't carry over there.
No, they don't. That's it. Yeah, we appreciate anything yet. Well,
hey,
Clemens
it's
is
good
a
when you
transfer.
got some very, very intelligent. Because look, he's got to be pretty bright. His dad's a doctor.
Yeah.
And so he's obviously got a real good memory.
Mm-hmm. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
That's right.
Catcher is Clemens from Randleman, North Carolina. Previously played at UNC Greensboro. Jamar swings at strike 3. We got 2 outs with a runner at second. Foster, our center fielder, steps in there.
Foster steps in today batting .306 on the year. 35, I think he leads the Hurricanes this year with 35 RBI.
Foster had one of the defensive plays of the season to end that game last weekend.
What a heck of a play.
If you watch that video that Micklig put on YouTube, or put on, Facebook and some of the other
social
Twitter,
media.
Social media, I'm telling you, the fans from Francis Marion, they stood up they thought it was gone. They were standing up and already just about, and then it was almost like those videos you see from NCAA football, big games, when they show the kids squalling in the stands. I mean, it was about like that for the Francis Marion fans. It was just deflated when Foster.
And I mean, really, just think back now. I mean, how big was that play?
Yeah.
I mean, we're counting on, Lander's in the mix of us getting in the postseason. Had he not caught that ball, that leads us to where we probably end up maybe having to sweep or having to win 2 games. I mean, I know talking to Josh McDonald, he could care less what Lander's doing today.
That's exactly right. But
He's
you and I
focused
can.
on his team.
Yeah.
That's right. But we can talk about these things.
Well, the score was 4-2, bottom of the 9th. One of their power hitters was up, and he was the go-ahead run in the top of the 9th.
Pappas, I believe.
Yeah, Pappas. It would have been 5-4, and we'd have gone to the bottom of the. And of course, the inning wouldn't have been over then. They might have put some more runs on the board. We don't know, but it would have just deflated. And what trajectory? This weekend might have been different. I mean, we may have been deflated after something like that. So you just don't know what
That's
carries
right.
over.
Good point, Scott.
Their fans didn't like it, but that thing was almost in the dirt.
Oh yeah, well.
3-1.
They had a long drive.
They did. I got some of Micklig's glasses over there.
Tell you, we got Harrison Timberlake. He told me his entire family's here from Philadelphia.
Awesome.
As Hallie Turner texts me to remind me of that.
Well, I'm glad the Sumter County Chamber of Commerce ordered this weather that we have this weekend for.
Well, they knew the Timberlakes were coming in from Philly.
Yeah. So this is a Chamber of Commerce weather weekend for any visitors from out of town. Hunter Foster has full count with 2 outs, runner at second. Single might score a run.
It would definitely score a run.
Foul ball. I believe that hit the visitors' dugout. Foster digs in. Smith gets a sign from Clemens. Looks at the runner at second. Ball 4. Gets runners at first and second. Bo Halcomb, our left fielder, steps in there. A chance to do some damage.
Batting fifth, left fielder, number 25, Bo Halcomb.
Bo Halcomb, our left fielder, batting in the number 5 spot.
Bo comes in today's game batting .227, 30 RBI on the year.
Called strike 1. Some of the players up here letting us know that Bo's wearing some Lucky Shorts from high school under his uniform today. So
Said he hadn't washed them since high school.
if I wore some Lucky Shorts from high school, it'd be like a body tourniquet on me right now.
My wife made me throw my Lucky Shorts away.
I'm sure. I'm sure. You know, I usually subscribe to, the fact that it's bad luck to be superstitious. But I hope it works for Bo today.
Well, let's see how those shorts do right here.
I tell you, that catcher's on his game now after he had that wild pitch earlier that advanced the runners.
Yeah,
he's
very athletic.
He has stepped up his game. Bo looking relaxed up at the plate. Gets ready for the delivery from Smith. Swing and a miss. Makes the count 2-2. We have 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Bottom of the first inning, all knotted up at 0.
The fans keep kind of trickling in here, Scott.
They do. They do. Yeah, so if you want to get a seat for the doubleheader, you might want to get on down here. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that'll do it for the Hurricanes in the bottom half of the first inning. No runs. Left 2 on base. Going to the top of the second on the Surge Sports Network, tied at 0.
Leading off the second inning for UNC Pembroke, right fielder number 25, Elijah Hilton.
Elijah Helton, right fielder for UNC Pembroke, leads off the top of the second, facing Tucker Smith.
Not an easy out. He comes into this game batting .372.
High fly ball, foul territory.
But we make an easy out of it.
Bradley Huff. Out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out. Tucker Smith, we've gotten to where we're pretty used to that kind of stuff.
Didn't get a chance to say it, but Hilton he's leading the team in batting average at .372.
Connor Granger, first baseman, number 40, steps in there to face Tucker Smith.
Coming to plate, first baseman number 40, Connor Granger.
And Scott, both these teams, you know, Georgia Southwestern comes in with an overall record of 9-28, and Pembroke of 20-25. In the conference, Southwestern 12-15 record, UNC Pembroke 10-17. Southwestern has obviously a little better home record than they do away, as you would expect. We're 10-14 at home, and the Braves are 8-13 on the road. So maybe we can take advantage of some home cooking and some good pitching from Tucker Smith today.
Granger's facing an 0-2 count, and Tucker Smith. Not exactly a position you want to be in as a batter, I can tell you that. Granger, 6'1", 205, redshirt sophomore from Tabor City, North Carolina, out of Whiteville High School. Whiteville, the home of the Packers. Foul ball down just about 3 feet left of the third base. Third base coach gives little to no help retrieving that ball. Remains 0-2 as Granger continues to battle up there. This is where we usually see Tucker Smith throw his knuckle slurve.
Did you help him develop that pitch?
We've been working on it. He's not 100% comfortable yet. I told him it's a good 0-2 pitch because, you know, they're not expecting it. You know, they see it coming in as a curve ball, and then all of a sudden it knuckles, and then it turns back into a curve ball. So it's a difficult pitch to hit. It usually, you know, lands in an opponent's dugout, but it's a pitch they don't expect.
That almost was in their dugout.
That's right. I mean, without somebody hitting it, usually at the backstop or a dugout or something, it's usually where that knuckle slurve ends up, but it's not what they expect. Granger. Steps back in there. Tucker Smith delivers. Ground ball. Matthew Mamatis picks it up.
Play.
Fires to first for out number 2. Mamatis on his game today. Beta has caught that high fly ball that kind of drifted on a little bit, but still got it. So hopefully our middle infielders are ready for a strong doubleheader today. Next up, we have Jarrett Mobley. He's their shortstop, batting in the number 7 spot.
Mobley batting .267 on the year. 3 home runs, 13 doubles.
Mobley, an infielder, 180 pounds, 6 foot 1 inches tall, junior from Tarboro, North Carolina. He went to Southwest Edgecombe High School, home of the Nor'easters. He hits a line drive single back there to Jonathan Martin. Martin picks it up, fires to Beta. So we've got a 2-out single runner at first for the number 8 batter, Bobby Dixon. Number 20, the designated hitter, steps in there.
You know, I think 7 out of their 9 hitters in the lineup batting over 300.
Designated hitter number 20, Bobby Dixon.
This gentleman, Dixon, is batting .321 as that ball gets away from Harrell.
Mobley scampers to second. Got a runner at second. Designated hitter up to bat with 2 outs. Mobley gets his lead. Smith stands in there getting the signal from Jacob Harrell.
Boy, that ball fooled Harrell.
It fooled me too.
God,
that may have been that knuckle slurve.
It must have been. I don't know if they got crossed up. I have no idea. But that ball, Harrell was coming up to catch that ball and learned in a hurry it was breaking back down.
And the umpire, I believe it kind of startled him a little bit. I think he wasn't sure if that ball was going to be called or not either. But he did call strike. So we've got 1 ball, 1 strike. Another line drive to Jonathan Martin on his horse. Catches it for out. Number 3, no runs. Leave a runner at second. We're going to the bottom of the second. Still 0-0. And we are back after a little slight delay between innings. I'm not exactly sure what was going on, but we all squared away now. Bradley Huff, first baseman for the Hurricanes, steps in there.
Huff comes in hitting .270 on the year. 2 home runs, 16 RBI.
Huff batting in the number 6 spot will lead off this rally in, and I got a feel.
If memory serves me right, Huff swinging a hot stick last series.
Takes
and
strike
the Lander
one.
series as well.
Counts 0-1. We in the bottom of the second inning, no score. Wind blowing from right field to left field currently. Little chopper to the second baseman, Ryan, who feeds it to Granger, and for out number 1. Next up, we got number 7, Matthew Mamadas, our shortstop.
You know, Scott, just looking at UNC Pembroke, I mean, they're the Braves, but, you know, their uniforms more look like the Pirates.
They do. They are old or some Padres, maybe. You know, I mean, that's that little. They got the Braves logo on a, like I say, like a uniform, almost like a travel ball team. You know how travel ball teams will sometimes will take a pro team's logo and put it on a different colored uniform.
Of course, no way we're comparing them to a travel ball team.
No, I'm just saying the uniforms. That's something. No, gosh, no. Mamadas Stands in there with a
So
0-1 count.
Mamadas comes in batting .284, 19 RBI. I tell you what, he's moved kind of around in the order all year, but he's kind of getting down in that 7. He's had a lot of success down in here. Not that he didn't have success in the top of the order, but
Fly ball. Left fielder, center fielder, left fielder. Left fielder makes a call, gets it for out number 2. Next up, Miguel Urbina, our designated hitter, steps in there. Face this left-hander.
Urbina in the lineup. Andy Moore will take the day off due to the left-hander on the mound.
Designated hitter number 31, Miguel Urbina.
I'm going to apologize to our listeners for my cough. I've been a little puny for about 7 days trying to get over this funk.
I've told you to go get a TB test.
Well, you brought that toe fungus up here, and I think it got in my lungs.
Well, I'm curious how it got from my toes to your lungs.
Good hot shot.
Yeah, good shot down the third base. Urbina.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
A heads-up play right there by Urbina. He saw the throw going up, and I'm going to tell you, if you're a young kid, and he may be banged up on the play, but I tell you, you see folks slide into first base. Why do you slide into first base? It always slows you down. The only time it's really, that you should be sliding into first base if a throw takes the first baseman up so he can't come down and make the tag on you. So heads-up play by Urbina. Great hustle for Urbina.
That's right. I'm sorry, fans, for yelling. My son tells me I got to quit doing that.
No way. Hey, this is all excitement right here.
That's it.
Catcher number 24.
Jacob Harrell, our catcher.
Look, let me tell our fans, we're not apologizing for being loud. I'm sorry.
Right.
We're in here to win this thing. So
yes, sir.
If you don't want to hear Scott and I get excited when the Hurricanes do good, you tune into the wrong channel, baby.
That's right. 'Cause we will turn into fans right quick. We're going to charge that as an error. That's what they said, that last play.
I don't know.
Well, I'm telling you that. I mean, the third baseman did take his time a little bit, but it was it was right down the third base line. He picked it up.
I don't care. Nevertheless, I don't care. Hit, error, we're on first base.
That's exactly right. That's right. Low and away for ball 1. Charlie Hustle, Jacob Harrell.
I tell you what, that kid, he does hustle.
If y'all, some of our fans, if you don't make it to a game, I tell my son, I said, I want you to watch Jacob Harrell coming out of the dugout, and I want you to adopt that.
He hustles 100%. No matter I don't care what he does at the plate or whatever. You watch what he does coming out of that dugout, running the home plate.
Upbeat, great attitude, good work ethic. High and away. Catcher Clemens held that for a little while, hoping to milk a call out of that umpire. But that one was high and away.
And I tell you, he's got the best walk-up song of anybody.
Mm-hmm. You and I need to get a walk-up song.
We should.
I mean, yeah. Something
between innings?
Yeah, we need to come up with one between the games.
I'm afraid Cole would screw it up.
Yeah, he would.
I ride Cole like an old rented mule all season.
If we didn't love him, man, he would.
I mean, really.
we wouldn't even acknowledge him sitting there.
He and Mix, can you imagine the abuse he's going to get next year when he's on the diamond from us?
This pales in comparison to what he'd be getting in the dugout. So,
yeah.
I mean, this is a cakewalk up here. High for ball 3, 31. Count is 3-1. For those who may not know my 31 reference.
Scott, we're getting closer to our goal on our hailstorm, on our ball drop.
Let me tell you, I have got mine ready. I'm going to buy hopefully a few more before because I like where the money's going, like how it's being used. And I heard this morning on the radio, coming in, buying our sausage biscuits from McDonald's, so we can keep our high school figure. And I heard Mike Leader doing his commercial on there, pitching the hailstorm.
Mike does a great job as our athletic director.
He does.
Dadgummit.
High fly ball, second baseman Ryan under it, and calls for it, catches it for out number 3. We stay 0-0 going to the top of the third on the Surge Sports Network. Welcome back, fans, for the top of the third inning. Tucker Smith still in there slinging it. Zach Gelfie,
Getting off the third inning for UNC Pembroke third baseman number 5, Zach Gelfie.
third baseman, leads off the top of the third inning. Batting in the 9 spot. Count is 1-1. Gelfie.
Oh, that's terrible.
And that's tuberculosis if I ever heard it. Gelfie fouls it away. Got some young ball players here.
Let's see what kind of hitter Gelfie is. I'm trying to look him up. He's batting .289.
That's not bad for somebody in your 9-hole.
2 triples, 4 home runs. And a pop-up to Skelton.
Skelton comes in screaming like his hair's on fire. Catches it just to the third base side of the pitching mound for out number 1. But that's exactly what you want your fielders to do. I tell my son that. I say, when you're out there and there's a fly ball, scream like your hair is on fire.
This is not a library.
No, that's right.
At the plate, the catcher, Trevor Clemens.
The catcher, Clemens, steps in there. He's the leadoff batter. Squares away on the bunt.
I'll tell you what, Scott, I had the opportunity. I was putting out signs for the hailstorm, for a little more advertising. And some of our baseball players own a house right over here by the university. And I believe, or they're in a house over there. It's A.J. Hayes. And, man, I tell you, one thing that I can tell you about this team, they're close. I was over there for just a little bit. And I mean, if there were 10 of them there were 100. All of them baseball players. Spending time together.
That's awesome.
That's what you love to see. And I tell you, I got a chance to talk to Hunter Foster for a little while. His parents can be very, very proud of him. I mean to tell you, he is a fantastic human being. We got a lot of great guys. I could go down, I could talk about every single one of them. I've gotten to know them. And, I mean, not only we have good ball players here, we have great young adults.
That's right. You know what Bubby Brister, former quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, you know what he called that?
What do you call it?
He called it camaraderie ship.
That's what we had plenty of it that day.
We had plenty of
and
camaraderie ship.
I have my 10-year-old daughter over there, so set her up on the hood of the car in the carport, and we just shot the breeze for a little bit. Had a lot of camaraderie ship.
That's right. A word that may not have made it to the dictionary yet, but will one day.
That's right. Hey, Mix was there.
Yeah.
Cole was there. They had just went out and played a little bit of golf. They had the day off. I believe it was Monday, wasn't it, guys?
He'll take that backwards K back to the dugout with him. And out number 2, Tucker Smith.
And if Tucker completes this inning, this will give him 100 innings pitched on the year once he completes his 3rd inning.
Wow. Tucker Smith telling where he wants his outfielders to be, I think, before River Ryan steps in there. River Ryan, the second baseman for UNC Pembroke. River Ryan, once again, a product of Wheatmore High School, home of the
Shockers.
That's right. Line drive. Hunter Foster.
Great play by Foster. Diving play towards Jamar over there in the hole, or back towards right center field. So Foster makes another great play to end the inning, and Tucker Smith completes his 100th inning of work this year. So you're still knotted up at 0. You're listening to the Surge Sports Network.
Ooh. Fans, welcome back. Bottom of the third inning. We start back at the top of our lineup with our second baseman, Jason Beta, stepping in there.
And, Scott, I think Shabrika had put up a slide of one of our golfers. Unfortunately, our golf team did not make the regional tournament. But, of course, Vinny did.
Okay.
Vinny is lights out. And, I won't go into great detail of why we didn't get it. I mean, of course, things just didn't shake out. There was some uncharacteristic play from some other conferences, the way I understand it, that is kind of unheard of. That, of course, our play prevented us from getting in. But, some crazy things did happen that made it a little tougher for us to get in.
Beta leans off with a single line drive to right field. So we got one runner on first, nobody out. Go ahead, Ryan. I'm sorry.
But anyway, Vinny will be representing Georgia Southwestern in the regionals as a single. I think Vinny is ranked, I want to say he's ranked 13th in the country in Division II.
Wow.
And I'll check to Micklig here in a minute when it quiets down.
Tyler Skelton, our third baseman, digs in, ready to face Landon Smith. Beta leads off first. Smith delivers. Ball one. I don't want to jinx it, but I don't have any complaints with these umpires yet.
No, I don't want to jinx it.
I mean, I really don't.
Excuse me. And consistency is all we ask
That's right.
for. I mean, we had a pair last weekend that just weren't very consistent. They heard everything going on in the stands and the dugout.
Yes.
You weren't here, but I will confess to something.
What's that?
I came Sunday, and I sat down right behind home plate, and I was giving the umpire a little bit of a hard time. And he came out and started writing something down, and Coach McDonald came out and asked him what he was writing down. He was giving the dugout a warning for arguing balls and strikes when it was me behind the plate arguing balls and strikes.
So they can warn fans.
No, you're not supposed to. No, so I just had to call Josh and told him, normally you have a warning in a game. I just didn't, you didn't have one. I was trying to get you one. It was late. It was actually early in the game.
Mm-hmm. You know how you make sure you don't get chirping from the dugout?
Call good. Call better.
That's exactly right. That's right. That's exactly right. 3-0. Hunter Skelton, our third baseman.
And we lost that game Sunday, but by no means I don't think it was the umpire's fault.
No.
We didn't play well enough to win, but.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you what, that catcher will flat keep you honest.
He sure will. Let's see. I wonder if I got any defensive stats on him.
I said, he is not your stereotypical look. I mean, he's up there bunting. He's like a darn shortstop playing catcher or something. I don't know, man.
Well, funny you say that. I mean, he does look like a shortstop.
Yeah, he does. Line drive. He couldn't find it. That's it. Must have lost it in the sun. I mean, he held his glove up like the left fielder.
I think he was trying to deke the runner at first base.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you. Luke Jackson held his glove up as if he was catching it, trying to slow a runner down. And let the ball drop right in front of him. So we got runners at first and second with nobody out. Was that a 3-0 pitch Skelton hit that one on?
I'm not sure.
Was that a 3-0 pitch Skelton hit that line drive on? I think it was 3-1. Okay. Thank you. Mix, help me out here. What?
That's why he's up here.
That's exactly right. Jonathan Martin, number 20, our right fielder. Jonathan Martin, our right fielder, steps in there. Left-handed batter.
Now batting right fielder, Jonathan Martin.
We got runners at first and second. Nobody out. Number 3 batter, our number 1 batter, number 2 batter, both reached. We got to get some runs.
About to do it this inning, Scott. I got a feeling. Got a good feeling about this inning.
Low, ball 1. You know how you beat a team like Pembroke, UNC Pembroke? Score more runs than them by the end of the game. And you beat
That
them.
normally works.
That's it. I mean, that's
a great strategy.
Every once in a while I'll come back with a little pearl of wisdom strategy like that I hope people are taking notes at home. I'm sure we got people scoring on the old paper book at home, but, they can jot that down in the margins. Ooh, that was behind his.
Almost hit him in the head.
It did.
I tell you what, I bet Bader's going to run some good bases right here.
I think so.
But maybe, hey, who knows? I don't know what.
That is Mick League all the way. A little bit of organ music coming out over the fans. Cole, our DJ, I told Cole, I said he has aspirations of being a high school and college baseball coach in general. I said he needs to learn what kind of tunes to play at a game.
He's got to.
Yeah. Oh, we got a visit from the coach going out to talk to the pitcher, Landon Smith. So we're going to take a break here on the Surge Sports Network. After a visit from the coach, Landon Smith will stay in there to face Jamar with a 2-0 count. You think Jamar going to swing at this one?
If it's down the middle,
I'm telling you. Usually after you have a coach's visit like that, they usually deliver a meatball pitch.
This ain't a bad pitch right here to take a hack at. You're right, Scott. Except I'm glad he held off on that one.
Me too. Yeah,
that's why we're up here.
He's down there.
Jamar and Josh are down there.
That's right.
Now, back in my day, I may have swung at that.
I might have to.
Which that would have got me some more time on the bench.
But it was a pitch just like that Pappas hit to the darn wall last week.
Yeah, now you do have some freaks of nature in this game.
Mm-hmm. That right there is 3-0 strike. So makes the count 3-1. Runners at first and second. 0-0, nobody out.
Chance for the Hurricanes to draw first blood here in the bottom of the third inning. That's going to be a tough double play.
Just 3-6, score fielder's choice. For out number one, we got runners at the corners.
Smart play by the shortstop not to throw that ball. The pitcher was doing all he could to get over there. That was just had a error written all over it had he thrown that ball over there. But a good job by Jamar putting the ball in play. Got a runner in scoring position. Jamar, no stranger to the stolen base category either. I believe he's got 9 on the year. I think he's 10 for 9 if I'm not mistaken.
If Jamar tries to steal, I bet you dollars to dimes that catcher will do the same thing he did last time, act like he's throwing to second and fire down and try to pick off the runner at third.
Yeah, that's
the signal he's giving right now.
That's the play. He's letting them know what play's on, so be interesting to see.
But let me tell you,
early in the game they may throw
Josh
the runner
can smell
out.
It.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Josh does here. Probably just let Foster hit away.
Strike one, 0-1, Hunter Foster. Looked like he was taken all the way on that one.
You got a left-handed pitcher on the mound. Sometimes they're tough to get a jump on, but you always go on their first movement. And see Jamar real close to the bag, but looked like he was
anticipating that. And that wasn't his best move to first, I don't think.
Most lefties don't have a good move to first. Some do, but very seldom do you find a left-hander with just a jam-up move to first.
Whew, that one almost got away from the catcher. He he caught that one right on the edge of the pocket of the mitt. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runners on the corners. No score. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Hunter Foster, our center fielder, ready to face Smith. Smith gets the sign from Clemens. From the stretch. No, that wasn't. Yeah. He's not throwing. Is he? I don't know.
What's your question?
Does he throw from the stretch? Because he kicked his leg up. He is. Okay, my bad. I know it's my glasses. I'm sorry. I'm juggling too many things up here right now.
You are.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yep. Oh, now that might have been high and away, but I've been okay with this umpire so far, so I'm gonna.
Well, and like you said to the umpires, I mean, look, when you're not talking about them and you don't think they're there,
Yeah.
they're doing a fantastic job.
That's right.
For both teams in this order. I mean, nobody's been chirping out of either dugout, so. Long 2 ball games today, though.
That's exactly right. We got 18 innings to get through, so we'll see. But, in a previous life, I was an umpire also. And
I bet that was fun.
let me tell you,
Fun for people to watch you, because I know you had a great time with it.
I used to tell coaches when they would chirp at me a little bit umpiring, I would say, if I was perfect, nobody could afford me, and if you were a coach, you wouldn't be coaching at X, wherever he was. So that
Did that tend to work? Or
and sometimes I'd say it loud enough where the fans could hear it a little bit, and that would just about, sew me up. I probably wouldn't ask back to come to that school, but by the same token.
Yeah, I tell you, if you look at it, it looks real easy. I've done it before, too, myself for Pony League, and I did it, when I was in college, I'd go back and call Little League and stuff just to stay involved and help those kids and all. But
That's right.
Tell you what, you get some I heard a lot out of the stands. I never really said anything to the fans. I was real close to throwing a coach out of the game there. Over a balk call.
Oh, wow. Full count, 1 out. The fun ones were I did football games. I did football refereeing when my wife was at Auburn.
Attaboy!
There you go. Single between the shortstop and third baseman. Scores the first run of the game. Makes the score 1-0. Foster gets an RBI. Beta comes waltzing in.
Great piece of hitting right there. Foster was patient. Didn't swing at any crud. Got one down the middle. Drove it right out to left field for a base hit.
Sometimes that's all it takes. Takes just a little spark to get a fire going.
Coming to play for the Hurricanes, left fielder Bo Halcomb.
Bo Halcomb, our left fielder, steps in there.
So that was Foster's 36th RBI on the year.
And Bo Halcomb has some new walk-up music.
Thank goodness. We gave Bo some. Wasn't it Bo that we were giving him a hard time about his walk-up?
I don't know. That's a high fly ball out of play. Yes. Halcomb, our left fielder. He'll get a clutch hit every once in a while.
Halcomb will catch fire. That's right.
He sure will. This would be
a lot of room out there in left, too. Look,
that's usually where he sets it.
They got him shifted over. Left fielder's over there close to the Bozoff sign.
Runners at first and second get their lead. Smith looks to Clemens for the sign. Clemens ready's behind the plate. That's the same place that other strike was called, so at least he's being consistent.
That's a good pitch.
Yeah, that was.
And I wasn't looking. I got an advantage of looking with our viewers. That center field view, they can tell better at home. And I'll do a better job of trying to pay attention to that over here.
I'm flying by the seat of my pants over here. I can't see what you can see over there.
Shabrika's got me going good right here.
Oh, foul tip. Strike 3 caught by the catcher. And that will be out number 2. Runners at first and second still. Bradley Huff, our first baseman, stands in there, batting in the number 6 spot.
So, Scott, you never did tell me, what if NFL teams called you? They had to be looking at you for –
I'm really probably going to be a pick for today or tomorrow. That's really – I mean, I'm really not one of the early round picks. They got me there. I mean, I got the weight and the height a little bit, but I just don't have the foot speed and the strength. So that pushes me down. Maybe a undrafted free agent. You never know.
It looks like Mr. Skelton came straight from the draft.
He sure did. He did from Nashville. High fly ball. Right field. Right fielder Elijah Helton catches it deep for out number 3, but not before the Hurricanes score 1 run. We are going to the top of the 4th inning, up 1-0 on the Surge Sports Network. Ethan Balkin, number 17. The center fielder will be leading off for UNC Pembroke for the Braves. Balcom. Redshirt junior from Rockingham, North Carolina. 6'3", 225. 1 ball, no strikes. Low and away.
He's one of the 7 that is batting over 300 in the lineup.
Wow.
And he is their home run leader as well. Leads the conference in home runs.
Fly ball, Jonathan Martin's under it, calls for it, and catches it for out number 1. Balcom goes back to the dugout. Next we have Luke Jackson, number 8. Jackson, the left fielder.
Jackson, another strong hitter.
Jackson.
Guy batting .339 coming into today's game. But Pembroke only has 2 hits for today, Scott.
And they are an offensive team, as you have pointed out, with their batting averages. And Tucker Smith delivers strike 1 to Jackson.
But opponents are only batting .214 against Tucker Smith.
Wow.
So Tucker Smith is not a guy you want to face if you want to pad stats.
All right. Luke Jackson, he's 6 foot, 210-pound senior from Kinston High School. Kinston, North Carolina. North Lenore High School, home of the Bakers.
I thought it was the Sassafras Roots.
No. That's another school. That's another one. Routine ground ball to second baseman Beta. Fields it and feeds it to Huff for out number 2. I tell you what, Tucker Smith just makes it look too easy.
He does. And if we only knew.
I know. I mean, just incredibly humble kid,
Effortless almost,
oh, yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
and almost, I know he don't like it, but almost Greg Maddox is.
I don't know why. I don't know, and I say kids. Anybody under the age of 30 is a kid to me, but I don't know why kids don't like being compared to Greg Maddox.
Because there's so much emphasis on how hard you throw today.
I know.
And it doesn't matter. In today's game, I mean, they put so much emphasis on how hard. Look, you see how they chart how hard these guys throw.
Mm-hmm.
Where, of course, yeah, that's good that you can throw hard. But if you can spot the ball like Tucker Smith, listen, that's pitching.
You got a fastball with no movement. Most players at this level can hit it.
Absolutely.
But if you got a pitch that where you can put it where you want to, you can sit there and work the zone, work the strike zone.
And Tucker's got 4 of them.
Yeah, I mean I think it's crazy. I mean to sit there because you and I got to see Greg Maddox pitch in his prime and his heyday, and he's a Hall of Famer. But a lot of pitchers, they don't like being compared to a Hall of Famer like that.
I would love it.
I mean
because
it's. Like
I was watching I think I was watching Vanderbilt and Auburn play last night, and they actually started talking about Greg Maddox. And, the things they were saying, they actually talked about his velocity. I mean, of course, he could pump it up there if he wanted to. Mm-hmm. He didn't have to.
And, I'm constantly compared to Brad Pitt. I don't get mad at that. I don't get mad at that at all.
Excuse me, I got to throw up.
He's got a little age on him, I'll admit. But, hey, Scott, you look a lot like Brad Pitt. I'm like, okay, I'll take that.
I could see a little bit of similarity. I don't know what part of Brad Pitt.
High fly ball from low pitch for out number 3, and that'll do us. We go into the bottom of the 4th inning. Canes up 1-0 on the Surge Sports Network. Here we are in the bottom of the 4th inning. Smith still in there pitching. Matthew Mamadas, our shortstop, it leads off the inning. Matt Mamadas, as we said, hitting from the 7th spot. Line drive ball. Center field gets on his horse, gets underneath it, and catches it for out number 1.
And Scott, we got Coach Big Ben Hicks. I'm going to tell you, he just don't look like a basketball. If we had a wrestling program or a football program, that's right up his alley.
Weightlifting.
This cat right here, if you hadn't seen Hicks, he is a specimen. I bet, hey, the NFL should have been calling him last night, the last couple of nights.
He is one that reminds me of myself when I was his age.
Oh, yeah, it's no doubt. Look, and so you need to tell him that so he knows what he's got to look forward to.
That's right. That's it. Because it all falls apart when the chase stops, man, I'm telling you.
He said it all falls apart when the chase stops, Ben.
This body, it takes years, like I said, it takes years of neglect, overeating, sedentary lifestyle. It doesn't just happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight,
So anyway, back to base.
Yeah, Urbina, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, nobody on base. Urbina laid out for that single or error, whatever. He reached base last time at bat when he slid into first base.
The John Harper golf tournament's today, Scott.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Oh.
Line drive ball. Center fielder. He runs about the same distance towards right field. He had to run to left field on that one to get underneath it and catches it for out number 2. Jacob Harrell, catcher, steps in there with 2 outs. Need a 2-out spark.
And who's got the best walk-up song of anybody on the team?
I'm telling you, next season we're going to have walk-up songs, you and I.
Yeah, we're going to have a say in theirs.
No. Harrell squares to bunt, pulls it back for ball number 1. Weather absolutely perfect.
Gorgeous.
Sun, little breeze. Harrell takes strike 1, inside corner. Got a lot of beach or travel ball tents or whatever you want to call them. People's little personal shades.
I don't know. I think you're the first one I've ever heard call them travel ball tents.
Man, that's all you see.
I know. You see them there. That's a good name for them, Scotty. Let me just warn everybody, though. If it's a windy day, you don't want them things.
No, sir. No, sir, because
they will mess your scoreboard up.
I was tailgating at a Mercer football game one time, and you know how one of those little they're just like a whirlwind, little circular wind, just come up. It came up out of nowhere, and we didn't have it wasn't a windy day. It was in September, one of the first games of the season. We were tailgating a Mercer football game. I'm going to tell you what happened. We were right there as people were coming in to pay to park. We had this little shade tree. One of those little whirlwinds came up and picked up my little tent, and turned it upside down and dropped it right in front of some Cadillac Escalade Denali or something. If that thing would have landed and scratched the hood of that thing,
you would have took off running.
I would have been my tent. I don't know where that tent came from. Harrell works ball 4, gets a 2-out walk. We're back to the top of the lineup, ladies and gentlemen. Jason Beta steps in there. Yeah, I don't know who set this tent up. We just sitting under it, sir. You need to turn that into your uninsured motorist.
That's right.
Jason Beta.
Maybe we need to start selling tent insurance.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Dr. Neil Weaver just walked into the ballpark here. Scott, we talk about a lot of people walking into the games. We get a lot of comments. Mr. Mamatis is trying to figure out who some of these people we're talking about. He's starting to learn a few of them. I mean, we got Beta's dad saying some stuff to us. We got a lot of there's plenty of people that we hadn't talked about.
Well, I call them our groupies. That's what I call them. We got a bunch of guys our age as groupies. We need some young women groupies. That's why if we really want to step our game up and really get recognized around town, we got to have some
Amen to
groupies
that
that folks will notice.
Dr. Weaver got his pound cake and his GSW cup, styrofoam cup as always. If you want to know what's in the cup, he's actually got a podcast. It's called What's in the Cup.
How about that?
So he's got it at his office, up at his office. He's got a cup out there, so people put topics in the cup.
How about that?
And so that's how they came up with What's in the Cup. So pretty interesting stuff on there. Check him out on his podcast, What's in the Cup.
Beta has a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Harrell reached on a walk. Harrell, the pitcher's worried Harrell's going to take off running any second now.
I would be too.
Gives him the pickoff. Clemens gets the sign from the dugout, delivers it. High and away. 2 balls,
I
2
will
strikes.
tell you this, Scott. You had to stick a stop up beside me when I was running, but every now and then they'd call me out of the dugout to run if I wasn't playing in that game. And it never fails. They're going to throw over 3 or 4 times. I mean, just because you come out of the dugout, they think, surely he can run.
That's it. We got to keep this guy honest.
But now, I couldn't run. I may not have been the slowest on the team, but I sure as heck wasn't the fastest.
Back when I played football and did a 40-yard dash, they used to time me with a calendar. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at first. Canes up over UNC Pembroke, 1-0. We are in the bottom of the 4th inning. We got a full count. Beta has worked him to a full count.
So you'll get to see some of Harrell's wheels right here on this pitch.
Katie bar the door.
as the first baseman plays way behind Harrell.
Harrell has got a generous lead. He goes to secondary. Here goes high blooper, well, just a little blooper to shortstop. He takes 2 steps back, catches it for out number 3. But we go to the top of the 5th inning. We're up 1-0 over the Braves. Here we are, the top of the 5th inning. Close game. 1-0. Canes over the Braves from UNC Pembroke.
Good play by Skelton. Great job by Skelton. Going to his right. Backhanded grab. Good long throw over to first base for out number 1. Skelton came to play today, baby.
Yes, sir. Jarrett Mobley, shortstop, batting in the 7th spot, is the number 2 batter this inning.
Mobley.
Jarrett Mobley, as we said earlier, from Tarboro, North Carolina, Southwest Edgecombe High School, home of the Nor'easters.
I thought it was the Shockers.
No. That's the I forget who that is. High fly ball, out of play.
So Scott, our Lady Hurricanes, softball ladies, have clinched a spot in the conference tournament.
Well
baseball,
earned.
Absolutely. Coach Nikki Levern, her 2nd year here. As Coach Josh McDonald working hard, his team's working hard here, trying to make their way into the conference tournament.
In his 1st year here. Tucker Smith delivers, high fly ball. Jamar underneath it, calls for it and takes it for out number 2. Next up, the number 8 batter, Bobby Dixon, number 20. He is the designated hitter for the UNC Pembroke Braves.
Coming to play, designated hitter Bobby Dixon.
Bobby Dixon, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Another one of those 7 that's batting above 300. He came in the game batting 321.
Dixon takes strike 1 inside. 6'2", 210-pound sophomore from Clayton, North Carolina, Cleveland High School, home of the Indians.
He did not check his swing, the umpire said.
We got a 0-2 count. Tucker Smith is ready to deliver. Dixon takes his time, walks back in the batter's box. Low and away. Good. I mean, good 0-2 pitch. Dixon almost bit on it, but did not.
Coach Matt Lamoth always calling the pitches for the Hurricanes.
Well, when you and I don't.
That's right. Well, you know.
We tell them if they don't like the sign they get, look up here to us. We'll tell them what to throw. High fly ball. Beta calls for it. Takes it for out number 3. And the Hurricanes hustle into the dugout, get ready to bat in the bottom of the 5th inning, winning 1-0 on the Surge Sports Network. Got a pitching change for UNC Pembroke. Close the book on Landon Smith. We have number 44, Jacob Morrison. Morrison is a 5'11", 215-pound right-hander, redshirt sophomore from Goose Creek, South Carolina.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I previously played at USC Lancaster.
He comes into today's game with a 6.14 ERA, 22 innings pitched, 27 strikeouts, and he's walked 10.
Okay. Skelton swings at strike 1, 0-1.
Skelton swinging a hot bat today. Isn't he 2 for 2? We should do a better job of keeping up with all.
Well, I told you we need an intern up here. It falls on deaf ears, though. I say it, when we're at our pregame meetings. Third baseman Gelfie.
Skelton made it close.
Takes it. Skelton scampering down the line, though, but Granger caught it for out number 1. Zach Gelfie, the third baseman. Makes a good throw. 1 out. Jonathan Martin, number 20, our right fielder, steps in there to face the new pitcher. Lots of folks out here, shorts, T-shirts today, relaxed. They got some, like I said, some tents here. Got some people with picnic blankets. I broke out and wore my yoga pants today.
Thank goodness for that.
I don't know how the weather was going to be, so I wanted to have a little bit of extra cloth on. Mm-hmm.
And if that don't get you to want to come out here, I don't know what will.
Strike 1. Strike 2. We got a 1-2 count. Oh, I'm sorry. It was strike 1. Apologize. Strike 1, ball 1, 1 out. Score 1-0. Hurricanes over the Braves. Morrison delivers. Jamar scoops it and lifts it over down to the foul territory in right field.
Scott, I appreciate you bringing this farm credit of Southwest Georgia pen in here to me today. It writes pretty well.
I got some of those in my truck. I'll have to make sure you can go home with one of those today. Foul ball over the Hurricane dugout, just to the other side of it.
Got some folks sitting down behind the dugout down there today. Pretty good crowd down there on the left field line.
Under that shady cedar tree where a lot of the players like to hang out before the game. I want to thank our between 45 and 50 listeners who are tolerating us, probably listen to it on mute. Foul ball. Umpire screams. I didn't have to see him. That's what he said. I could hear it from here. Like I said, the fans continue to dribble in. Feel like we're in a Los Angeles Dodger game here.
Is that how they do it in L.A.?
I think so. Isn't that what Skip Carey used to always, and Don Sutton? That was a nasty pitch right there, wasn't it?
Almost spun Jamar in the dirt.
Yep. For out number 2, Jamar goes out swinging. Next we have Hunter Foster, our center fielder, stepping in there with 2 outs. Wind blowing now from the right field to left field side.
Foster drove in the only run scored today in this matchup between Pembroke and Hurricanes.
And like you said, looks like they got a shift on him. He's a lot of room if he can lift it over that third baseman's head.
And he can fly. Talked to him the other night. His toe's doing a lot better, unlike yours.
Mm-hmm. See, I've got 6 toes on one foot, so I can spare it. I can lose one.
Well, you should have cut that one off the head.
Well, it's got my wisdom toe. They charge me extra for my pedicures when you have an extra toe like that.